are these people?
Kevin Gosztola, Indie Media Award honoree, put out an article detailing Biden's legacy. The world is more unsafe for journalists. I highly recommend people read that. It's a 10-minute read over at thedissenter.org. I will again include all those links in the description. I am a paid annual supporter of the Dissenter. I am a big fan of Kevin's, and he also was really upset about what happened to Sam Husseini. Next, you teased it a little earlier, but Rumble, back in December, while we were on a little bit of a break, announced we were talking about how Rumble was going to try to have to find some cash infusion. Well, guess what? They found it, and boy, did they find it. A $775 million strategic investment from Tether. All right. They're getting shares in the company. They're going to probably drive the payment solutions, cloud, crypto, advertising toward crypto. Tether has its own issues, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. But this is going to bail Rumble out from the $10 million a month or $10 million a month burn that they've been pushing through. And my guess is they're going to burn even more than $10 million a month now that they have this kind of money to try to get profitable, to invest in more technology, to invest in more creators, in more verticals and mediums. I heard them talk about how they now want to appeal to cooking shows and people who cook on their channel. They want to bring everybody over to Rumble because they realize that the big selling point of YouTube, like Reef always says, is the volume of content that's there, not just in the political sphere, but in the gaming world, in stupid pet tricks, in sports, in everything. So Rumble is now making a push to go big, and they're going to take this money and do it. All right. Now, not so fast, though. Now, Chris Pavlovsky, he says that Tether and Bitcoin are the future, and he just actually made a deal to have Rumble servers host all the cloud services for the country of El Salvador, which has been a big Bitcoin thing as well. It's like a big little cabal consortium of people and organizations that seem to be emerging that are a concerning pattern. They're going to have a lot of control over the financial system. And what's going on with Tether? Well, let's rely on our friend Whitney Webb here. Tether. Now, Tether is what they call a stable coin. It was intimately involved in the FTX scandal. It has the FBI and Secret Service on its platform surveilling its users. It openly states that its main goal is to help spread dollar hegemony globally, which it does through de facto digital dollarization. And it has seized people's USDT whenever the Treasury's OFAC puts them on their naughty list. That's all bad. It's not freedom money, as they've been selling it. It's the newest phase of the US dollar debt slavery system and acts as a de facto CBDC in terms of its threats to financial liberty. All right. It is a private sector digital currency, but the US's national security state mass surveillance efforts have always been public-private partnerships. Why would the CBDC effort be any different? All right. So what's happening here is Richard Grinnell is writing this article about how Tether is going to rescue the U.S. Treasury. Now, what has been happening, and I'm going to bring this article, and this is a long article from the Cryptocalypse Chronicles, right? Trump's transition, this is from September. Trump's transition team is tethered to Thievery, talking about Howard Lutnick.
Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, right. Howard Lutnick is the CEO of Tether. He also is now going to be the head of the Commerce Department. All right. He's the co-chair of the Trump transition team. And yeah, he's very involved here. So read this. The big thing that I wanted to point out is that what he says is that Tether takes money Here we go. What is Tether? Here's a good mental model. All right. Think organized crime. Think organized crime groups. All right. Tether is the accounting system that keeps this cast of supervillains to share the bank account, keeping track of who owns how much of the money in the account at any given time. Cantor Fitzgerald acts as the bank. All right.
Okay.
Tether makes money because Cantor Fitzgerald earns interest. A whole lot of interest paid directly by the Treasury into Tether's pocket, none of which is ever passed on to Tether's customers, as would be expected in any normal financial operation that involved taking custody of customer money. Okay. Okay, by many metrics, Tether is one of the most profitable companies in human history, often reporting more quarterly income than Goldman Sachs.
Wow.
Wow. But here's the best part. I'm looking for it. But they effectively take the money that's invested in Tether and put it into a Cantor Fitzgerald investment account where they've been buying Bitcoin and leveraging it. So they're making profit on the Bitcoin. They're making profit on the interest. And then they're paying out a 1-for-1 for every dollar that was originally put in, keeping the difference.
Have a good time with your Bitcoin, your crypto, and everything else that you're playing with.
This whole Ponzi thing is insane. All right. Here, if you give Tether $100, they'll give you 100 USDT, US dollar Tether tokens. All right. And if you give Tether 100 tokens, they almost promise to give you $100. All right.
Yep.
Once you exchange your real money into cryptocurrency, you and your newly purchased tokens are loosed into the Hobbesian jungle of international criminal finance. I don't know if I agree with all that, but it's a place where the life of your capital is likely to be nasty, brutish, and short because it's going to get put into a Cantor Fitzgerald account. So that's crazy shit. All right. So now, the Cryptocalypse Chronicles. Check that out. You sent me this article, Reef, earlier in the week. I did not get a chance to get to it, but I do want people to read it about the two Joe Laurias and the recklessness of AI. And the fact that AI wouldn't just say that there were two Joe Laurias, but it rather kind of combined and conflated their stories and created one that didn't exist.
Made up entire books about them. Lots of weirdness. Like entire books he didn't write.
Yep.
Complete with publishers and everything. So
that's what they used to do. That's what they did to Bat Taibbi over at Gemini too. The other one that I think you sent me this. Taxpayers are suing U.S. reps for funding the genocide. This was about 12 days ago, and I think a lot of people missed this one. Marjorie Cohen over at Truthout wrote this one up. But that 500 federal taxpayers from 10 Northern California counties filed an unprecedented class action lawsuit against their congressional representatives. All right. Sean Donnelly et al. Versus Mike Thompson and Jared Huffman charges that two Democratic Congress members illegally abused their tax and spend authority on April 20th when they voted for the Israel Security Supplemental Appropriations Act, which authorized another $26 billion for military aid to Israel. Very interesting. I highly recommend everyone read that one too. That will be linked. So those were the ones I had. And then, of course, during the week, I was on Hardlens. So you can check that out over at indiemediatoday.com. The link is in the guest appearances section right there. You can watch the full show there. We read the Don't Feed the Trolls article, and I went through that with Kit. That was interesting. We also talked about private firefighters in California. We talked about a cat fight between Nancy Mace and a congresswoman in Texas. It was a fun show, so definitely go check that out. I also wanted to make mention, I have apologies to Golden Monarch. Tuesday, we recorded a podcast of an hour and a half But somehow operator error, hit the button to turn off his microphone live 25 minutes into the stream. And the last hour is me answering questions, asking him questions, and then a complete silence in between because Indy screwed up. So we're going to do that again. We'll have him back. We're working on a schedule. We were going to try to do it Thursday. Things didn't work out. We'll have that happen soon to support the network, to fund the media that you want to see. These people have already done so. Cash App, $ Indie News Network is the best way to do it. Ko-fi.com/Indie News Network. PayPal.me/Indie News Network. INNnewsletter.com. Those are the best ways to do that. Really appreciate if you're able to. If not, just share the show. Enjoy the content.
Can keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your heads. Why play civil if you won't listen to 50,000 dead? And now we know our mission, we form a militia, make Congress a prison. No, why play civil when all these dead won't make you listen? What's more American than slaying your oppressors? What's more American than liberty or death first? God, I thought we were founded on abolishing the tyranny of those who would starve a village all to live empirically. And I regret that I have only one life to give for my cause now that I can see the cause so clearly. See, I want our leaders, regardless of party, to fear me.